Hey everybody, Biohack here. I am here at Ash Forest because today I finally got around to running the math on something I've thought for a long time, which is that Ash Forest might actually secretly be the strongest money per hour grind spot in the game in the end of 2020. And it turns out that I think that might actually be the case. So in this video, I'm going to explain how Ash Forest has the potential to be worth possibly 500 plus million silver per hour. So if that sounds like something you might be interested in, stick around and I will go through the math and the justification for that argument. All right, so as you might have guessed, what this really all comes down to is the Deboreka necklace. For those of you unaware, Deboreka necklace is the strongest necklace in the game with a maximum of 40 AP at 10, but it's very difficult to get. It only drops at Ash Forest, and we don't have, or I don't have great numbers on exactly what the drop rate is, but I've heard things in the range of like 1 per 10k trash to 1 per 13k trash. And if you're a Pepega like me, you might get like 15 or 1600 trash per hour, which means you're looking at like 8 hours to get one necklace. I know some people can get like 2200 trash per hour or maybe even more, which would be like 1 in 6 hours per necklace. So it's a really difficult item to get, and even though it's worth 525 million silver on the market, if you spend 6 hours trying to get this item, it's not at all worth it to sell it, right? Because you're only getting like 100 mil an hour, and the rest of the drops at Ash Forest are kind of crappy. However, there's a key here, and that is if you look at the price of these necklaces on the market, there's something that stands out immediately to someone who does a lot of enhancing, and that is the value of these TET Deborekas. These things are selling for 63 billion silver. Now, this is the maximum they can go up on the market. That's what that blue arrow means. But this is a really high value for a TET accessory, 63 billion. And I had suspected for a long time, just looking at this on face value, that if you actually work the math out on this, the value per necklace, if you enhance it all the way to TET, is going to be really, really high. And so I finally got around to actually doing that math today, and so that's what I want to show you guys and make the argument that I think Ash Forest could potentially be the strongest money per hour in the game. Okay, so to figure out if this is potentially true or not, I had to make a spreadsheet that figures out exactly how many necklaces you need to click to make different levels of Deboreka, and how many cron stones you would need along the way, because this is an item that you absolutely want to use crons on, given that it takes so many hours just to get one base necklace. So I don't know if I want to go through all of the math that explains exactly how that works here, but essentially you can break each click up into separate components. You can either have a click that is successful, you can have a click that fails and does not downgrade. So according to the data mine, 40% of the croned accessories you fail will downgrade, which means 60% don't. And then you have the component that actually represents the chance of downgrading or the number of downgrades that you want to get. And from there, you can essentially figure out in terms of what all these components represent, in terms of how many cron stones you're going to need and how many total base necklaces you're going to need. So that's what's in this column here. And what we're going to notice is you need about 117 crons for a pry, to make a pry, 622 for a duo, 21,069 for a try, and then 9,460 for a TET. Now, if you remember, a TET is worth 63 billion silver on the market, which after tax, if you have the max family fame, comes out to about 53.849 billion in value once you remove how much the cron stones cost. Now, if you are on EU or you can't get access to cron stones on the market, I changed it here so you can figure out what kind of profit. Well, I guess in this column over here, what kind of profit that represents per necklace. But either way, the point is that we have a very large margin to work with in terms of how much silver we could potentially make per necklace based on this. So, and then in the column over here, what we had to do is figure out how many necklaces we actually need to make if we cron them all the way up to TET. So what I did here, you can see that, and I'll make this spreadsheet available. I plotted at different stacks how many bases you would need to actually upgrade to these different levels. And so I'm overstacking on my prize, but I'm actually using very reasonable stacks for the Duo, Tri, and TET. This is the soft cap stat for these accessories, and you very well might want to overstack and make these numbers even better. But what you can see basically is that at a 110 stack, if you're doing this exactly like I have laid out here, it will take 15.66 necklaces to make a TET Fallen God or a TET Deboreka necklace, right? And that means that essentially we have our post-tax value, and then we can subtract the value of the CRONs here, which is what I've done over here, and divide that profit by the number of necklaces used to get a profit per necklace. And so in this case, I have the CRONs at 2 mil each. This is if you buy them from the vendor. You're looking at a 2.230 billion profit on each necklace. If we're getting CRONs from the market, from costumes, we're looking at a 2.834 billion profit per necklace. Now, I mentioned earlier that we don't have perfect data on exactly what the drop rate for these necklaces are, but this could be potentially really huge, especially for those of you who are very well geared and can grind Ash Forest very efficiently, better grinders than I can. But even me, if we run the numbers, let's say worst case scenario, it's 1 in 13,000 drop rate, right? If you're getting something like 1.6 thousand trash per hour, that's about 8.25 hours per necklace, right? And that's then if we take the profit we're making on each necklace and we divide that, 125, we're getting 350 million silver per hour just in the necklaces. That's not including any of the trash. That's not including any of the masses or the Caphras dust or whatever else drops there, blackstones. That's just in the necklaces. And that's with a pretty slow grind speed. I know that some players can get 2,200 trash per hour. So let's say 13,000 average drop rate per necklace, and you're getting 2,200 trash per hour. You're looking at 5.9 hours per necklace. And now again, take that. 480 million silver per hour just in necklaces. And that's, maybe pessimistic. Let's say it's only 10,000 trash. 4.5 hours. 629 million silver per hour just in these Deboreka necklaces if you followed this strategy, enhanced them to TET, and then sold it. So I don't know how useful this is to you guys because, of course, some people think Star's End is too RNG, where you're relying on, getting a disto drop, every couple of hours. Here you're looking at potentially grinding for hundreds of hours to get necklaces to enhance them to TET and then sell them. And so you've got the RNG of getting the necklaces to drop, and then you've got the RNG of the enhancing process. So maybe that's too much RNG for some of you guys. But if you're adventurous and you're risk-taking, I think you could make the argument that if you're an efficient grinder at Ash Forest, it might actually be the best money per hour spot in the game, even better than Olans with Agris. So anyway, I hope you guys found this useful. If you did, throw me a like, sub to my stream if you'd like to see me struggle my way through Ash Forest. But yeah, I hope you found this useful, and y'all have a good night.